Hi, this is Ken. This spiritual video is called What is an Awakening and Enlightenment? Before we can begin to discuss what an awakening or enlightenment are, we need to go back to the very beginning, at conception. With conception, a spirit, a piece of God, our higher self, our soul, there are many names that may be used synonymously for it, join an embryo in its journey through life. What our spirit or a piece of God represents is our loving center. It is selfless. It knows nothing but sharing unconditional love. And within our spirit lies all the knowledge and wisdom of the universe. With our birth, though, and with our very first breath and remaining with us until the moment we die, our ego is formed. And what our ego represents is everything that we are born, actually, everything that we learn from the moment of our birth and accept as true and embrace as our future in life. Our ego represents our self-centered self. Its concern is only for ourselves and not for others, and what is best for us. By accepting our egoistic beliefs as opposed to our selfless, spiritual, loving beliefs in life, we believe that we are due for the best things in life, that we are alive to make money, to live a good life, to experience the best things that life has to offer, to get a good job, buy material possessions, have a family, a nice house, travel, and do all the things that we were taught. But living in a self-centered world has a toll. And the toll is all the things that you see going on around the world that causes struggles and hardships for so many. Everything from war, hunger, homelessness, from prejudice, hate, religious differences to everything else are a result of living in a self-centered world. So within every form of life, within every human life, there is an ego which represents our self-centered self and what's best for ourselves, and also our spirit, which joined us at conception and remains with us throughout our life. Our ego and our spirit are at conflict very often, trying to dominate our lives to help direct us. Those and the great majority of those alive follow the egoistic beliefs that we were taught and accept as true. They therefore follow our beliefs that we were learned. And what that does is it suppresses the messages of the spirit. It mutes the messages. Though our spirit remains present within us, our peace of God, our loving self-centered self remains within us. Its messages are muted and are not heard clearly because we follow the path of our ego and what we were taught. What an awakening is the first signs of our spirit trying to break through the barriers the ego have erected. And we're beginning to hear are the first messages from our spirit, which represents the selfless love within each of us, wanting and desiring to help each in their journey through life, rather than just the messages of the ego, which are concerned only for ourselves. With the awakening, the first cracks in these barriers begin to form, and the messages of the spirit are trying to escape. And within us, we sense an uneasiness, something that we know is trying to communicate with us, but we can't quite hear it. Though we may be very successful in life, we may be wealthy or have more than enough money to live well, have many material possessions, a family, being able to do the best things that life offers, we still feel this queasy unsettling within us. That uneasy settling, that awakening, are the first signs of your spirit trying to communicate with you the true reason that you are alive. The purpose of life, the meaning of life, is to follow the spiritual center, our spiritual core within, our loving, selfless beliefs that we are alive to share our goodness, our love, our spirit with all others without reason or concern, and to try to help each so that everyone's journey in life is successful and meaningful. As the cracks of the barriers that were put up by the ego continue to widen and get larger, we begin to awaken a little further, and we begin to understand that we must make changes in our lives. Regardless if we're successful and have a wonderful job and making lots of money, we understand that this is not the true purpose of why we are alive. Once you awaken, you cannot return to go back to sleep. You cannot go back to the way things once were. You must travel on the path toward enlightenment. And what often happens is you begin to reevaluate your entire life. You begin to reevaluate your friendships, perhaps even your marriage, those people that you are closest to, as they may remain asleep and not understanding that you have no choice but to pursue the journey that you now are on, the new road that you now are on. It is one of confusion, one where it's very difficult to understand what's happening to you, but you can no longer continue to accept everything that you were taught as true because you understand that it is simply not true, that there is more to life than just what we learned. At this point, we reevaluate our friendships. We may reevaluate our marriage. We may reevaluate our job. And even though we are making very good money, we may understand we can no longer continue along this path. We must make changes, even if it means changing our job and making less money. Instead of being only wanting to make money for ourselves, we now know that our employment, our job must involve helping others selflessly, sharing our spirit with them. And if it means that we must change jobs and make less money, then that's what may happen in our lives. We may also start to develop new friendships with others who are similar to us. And though we desperately wish to share our newfound understanding with our friends and especially with our spouse and children, many will not understand. They will just simply look at you like you are crazy and not understand why you must change your beliefs and why you must pursue the new path that you are on. Now, the path toward enlightenment is very, very long. The great majority of people never reach enlightenment in their lifetime. And if you believe in reincarnation, as the Hindu religion does, then though you may approach enlightenment and move further on the path, you are destined to be born again, to relearn the lessons you may need to relearn as you further your journey toward enlightenment. Those who have achieved enlightenment, such as perhaps the greatest spiritual leaders of our time, such as Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, amongst others, they have achieved a level of understanding where their spirit almost completely, totally directs their lives. And though their ego still is present, it always will be present, it takes up such a minute bit of their consciousness that they are able to live a pure spiritual life, a life embracing 100% their beliefs and their peace of God within. Those who have truly reached enlightenment are able to embrace unbelievable abilities that are present within each of us. Though we consider Jesus and Muhammad and others similar to them to be prophets, every single life has the ability to become enlightened, just as Jesus or Muhammad or Buddha did. To do so, though, you must truly travel through the entire path of enlightenment, completely embrace the beliefs of the Spirit, the peace of God within you, relegating the ego to such a minute portion of your existence. At that point, the many miracles that we consider, humans consider miracles by Jesus and Muhammad and others who have healed the terribly sick, who created food out of what apparently was thin air, who were able to do extraordinary things. For those who haven't read the books about the great spiritual leaders of the Far East, who also had these great, amazing abilities, those are able to be accomplished by anyone alive once you fully embrace the beliefs of the Spirit, the peace of God within. At that point, you truly attain what enlightenment is. The meaning of life, the purpose of life is to awaken, embrace your spiritual path through life fully. And by doing so, sharing it with all others selflessly. At that point, you will have accomplished the meaning of life and will no longer have to be reincarnated. Instead, you will help others achieve their purpose in life as well. To summarize this very long, confusing topic, we are enlightened at the moment of our conception. We are enlightened and awakened before we take our first breath, before the ego is born. And our goal or purpose in life is to return to the purpose, to the meaning and understanding we once had before we took our first breath. Our ego was developed and we accepted the beliefs of the ego as our purpose and meaning in life. Once we do that and fully embrace the purpose that we were born for, accepting the loving, selfless beliefs of our spirit, our peace of God within, at that point, and we are sharing it selflessly with all others to help all others, we truly become enlightened. Until next time, this is Ken with another spiritual video.